Good morning and welcome to For the District. The JMCSS podcast is a production of the Jackson-Madison County School System in partnership with Forever Communications. You can listen to this episode on demand on Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for the Jackson-Madison County School System. Joining me for the first ever For the District podcast, we have Angela Searcy. She's our Title I Parent and Community Engagement Coordinator. And Tim Gilmer. Throughout this interview, you'll hear me refer to him as Coach, as he was a coach previously. He's our Chief Support Services Officer for the district. Angela, let's start with you. In your role as Title I Parent and Engagement Coordinator, what do you do with the district?
Well, Greg, to keep it as simple as I can, my primary role is to engage families, educate them, and inspire them, empower them, and to connect them with school. From home to school connection is very important. And so that's really what my main goal is, and to support them in all the things that they may need as they are, providing assistance to their child and trying to help and support their learning experience.
And if folks at home haven't heard the term Title I Parent and Community Engagement Coordinator, surely they've heard about social and behavioral services or family support. Mm-hmm. Your department falls under this umbrella?
Yes, it does. Dr. Shalonda Franklin is the new director of this department. This is her second year, and she's brought in a wealth of knowledge and expertise. And so our mental health department, school health, and social workers, we all work together to provide services beyond the classroom for our families.
I'll make a note. We'll have to get Chief Franklin in here for the next edition sometime here in September. Tim Gilmer, in your role as Chief Support Services Officer, what do you do?
I have three areas that fall under that title, and they're transportation, safety, security, and food services. That is in the operations side of things under Deputy Superintendent Dr. Ricky Catlett. So again, those three areas are under operations, and I have people that are directors and coordinators in all three of those areas, but I support them and all that goes with it.
Let's stay there for a moment. Transportation. Nationwide, you think about driver shortages and things of that nature. How has the transportation department been able to navigate the difficulties that really districts nationwide are feeling?
Man, it's amazing what our transportation department has done this school year. We went from 113 drivers 3 years ago to hovering around about 70 right now. And we haven't cut any services. The beginning of the year always has hiccups in transportation as students move around, as different services have to be offered to different kids. And it's always some hiccups in the first of the year, smoothing out, but because of our drivers and our transportation department and their just passion to get kids to school and get them home safely, we've been able to not cut any services. Want to thank the parents and the schools and the school leaderships and the teachers. Anytime you have a shortage of drivers, something's got to give, and you're going to have some late buses, and that's some things that we'll talk about, some things that we're going to help keep parents informed, and some things we're already doing. But it is a nationwide problem. But we're very proud in Jackson-Madison County that we haven't had to cut any services, up to this point, and we don't plan on it. But again, it's just a testimony to our drivers and our transportation department, the passion they have for our kids.
Again, you're listening to For the District, the Jackson-Madison County School System podcast. This is episode 1, and I thought it was important to bring you all in just to remind families that as a school system, especially from the two superintendent's chair, Dr. King says it all the time, we're more than just, a school system is more than just homework and report cards, especially when you think about opportunities and supports for the whole child. Now, Coach Gilmer, I know you have some exciting news coming up in transportation. We won't give it away just yet, but we will share that information in this episode. So back to you, Angela, our Title I Parent and Community Engagement Coordinator. When I think about Coach Gilmer's crew, they all are, within all of the schools. For family support and community engagement, we want to encourage the families to come to the Family Resource Center. Tell us
Correct.
about that.
The Family Resource Center came about through a grant that we received from AmeriGroup for $50,000 actually, and our school district supported us in that to provide services for families. So we're located in the lower level of the Parkview Learning Center. And so the Resource Center is a place where parents can come for classes, parent university, parent workshops, and they can come for just support. So inside the Family Resource Center, now we have a new, this year, parent market. So parents who need school supplies, food items, hygiene items, it's kind of a one-stop shop to support them. And we also have a computer lab in that resource center and items for checkout. So if parents need to do job applications or they're taking classes and they have need for technology, we also have those resources at the PLC at Parkview Learning Center.
Angela, those sound like a lot of resources.
Yes, sir. It's a lot.
Tell me the typical situation, the typical call you guys receive. What does that typically look like or sound like?
Families call about food. Last year when they called about needing food, I'd go to Rife or I'd call somebody else. I'm happy this year that Rife is supporting our food pantry. Other needs are uniforms, belts, shoes, clothing. And so we have Corey's Closet located inside Northside High School, but I'm located in the East Chester area. So now we have two different ways that we can support families. So uniforms, they need food. It's just a variety of different calls on different days for different needs.
Someone may be listening now and wanting to know, well, how do we get connected with these resources? Email, phone call, what's the best way to reach you all?
They can email me and they can also call me. The best way is to call 731-506-3062. Teachers, counselors, other staff in the district can also reach out to me on behalf of a family. Families can come by and visit the resource center. I'm there pretty much every day, or they can call and we can make an individual appointment. But we really try to have a variety of different ways to get them what they need. If they don't have transportation, then we kind of coordinate getting them those supplies.
We will dive into the safety and support, food services, transportation conversation after this commercial break. But Coach Gilmer, give us 1 minute. In your role as Chief Support Services Officer, how do you approach your job?
I think that the word supported services, which is some of our core values that Dr. King brought with him when he came to the district, that's what I'm there for, to support principals, to support bus drivers, to support food services, to get them the resources they need, the training they need. I'm doing active shooter training in all of our schools. So just whatever the need is to support the people that are on the ground doing the work, that's my role.
When we come back, we'll have more from Tim Gilmer, the Chief Support Services Officer for the Jackson-Madison County School System, as well as comments from Angela Searcy, Title I Parent and Engagement Coordinator. You're listening to For the District, the JMCSS podcast, Episode 1. Jackson Academic STEAM Academy is Jackson's premier online public school. JASA students can participate in class from anywhere with a computer and internet connection. Although learning is remote, students are able to participate in sports and other activities within the Jackson-Madison County School System. Join Jackson Academic STEAM Academy this fall. Register now at jmcss.org/JASA.
I'm Nixie.
And I'm Annie. And you're watching For the District. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. You're listening to For the District, the podcast for the Jackson-Madison County School System. I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for JMCSS. Joining me are my colleagues, Tim Gilmer, Chief Support Services Officer, and Angela Searcy, Title I Parent and Community Engagement Coordinator. If you're just now tuning in, the theme for Episode 1 is just really to let families know that the Jackson-Madison County School System is serious about whole child support, our district is more than just test scores, homework, and report cards. Tim Gilmer, in your role as Chief Support Services Officer, I know transportation, safety and support, or safety and security, and food service fall under your umbrella. Big news coming out of the transportation department. Behind the scenes at the district office, we've been talking about it, but what can you tell parents about what's coming up in the area of transportation?
Well, I started researching abilities to get parents information. Came across a system to where we're going to have parents and they will be able to download an app on their phone. I know, again, I mentioned earlier that parents have been really patient with us getting their kids home late, picking them up late, and we know that big chunk of that is just the beginning of the year hiccups, but also with our driver shortage, they're doing everything they can, and we haven't had to cut any services. But I know as a parent, what really concerned me is if I didn't know where my kid was. And we do a principal's bus shop does a great job, but still there's some miscommunication at times to where a parent's expecting their kid home in X amount of time. Kid doesn't show up, so there's some anxiety there. So in researching what was available out there, we found some resources that we're going to be able to offer to parents where they're going to know when the bus is going to arrive at their home. They're going to know when the bus leaves the school. They're going to know when the bus arrives at the school.
Now, this is technology that will be implemented this school year?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Unless some kind of something major unexpected happens, we're looking at rolling this out pretty quick, so they will at least be able to say, okay, you're pull up the app on the phone and it'll say, your bus is 5 minutes away from the bus stop here. So they won't have to go out in the cold and the rain and wait for the bus. They'll know when to send them out. They'll know when their child the bus pulls up to the stop.
So there'll be a GPS aspect of this
yes,
system.
Sir. Yes.
And so stay tuned to the Superintendent Chronicle, JMCSS Facebook, and other communications, because this specific information will be shared
absolutely
with families after, as a district, we get it rolled out.
Yes, sir. And there'll be instructions. They'll have everything they need to know to get that. And we're not stopping there. There's some other things coming up in September that we're going to be installing on buses that's going to give parents even more information. And I'll hold off on that. But the big thing that we've got coming up relatively quickly is the parent app, where they'll know where the bus is. And that's what the app's called. It's called Where's My Bus?
Tim Gilmer, Chief of Support Services, joining us along with Angela Searcy, Title I Parent and Community Engagement. Before we go back to Angela, real quick, Coach, food service.
Yes, sir.
Has the food changed? Is the food improving? What can you tell? Because Angela has we all have children in the school system. They want to know what's the word on the food?
One of the major goals in food services this year, starting with Dr. King, was we need to increase the daily rate, the daily number of kids that are eating our cafeteria. We're blessed that we're able to provide 100% of our children free breakfast and lunch every day, and that's a blessing that our district applies for and is granted. So if we're able to offer that, we need kids eating. Well, we know that kids and adults too, we're going to eat what we like, and what we don't like, we're not going to eat. There will be some numbers coming out that shows the rate of kids that eat in the cafeterias daily. We're measuring that every day. There has been some changes. We got a new food service director, Mr. David Wicker. He and his staff are doing an amazing job. They're understaffed as well, like most people are.
Which is a good reminder to let people know. If you go to jmcss.org, you can apply for many of these jobs. In fact, if you go to jmcss.org, the first thing you're going to see is a pop-up banner letting you know that you can apply for many of these jobs. Again, Tim Gilmer, our Chief Support Services Officer. Angela Searcy is the Title I Parent and Community Engagement Coordinator. There's big news she wants to share, but first, I'm reminded we all have children in the Jackson-Madison County School System. Angela, your son plays football for JCM.
Yes.
I'm sitting beside a former football coach, so I'm reminded, what's that been like being a football mom in the district?
Being a football mom has been a lot of fun. He's playing for JCM. He's a freshman this year with Coach Turner. Shout out to JCM. Anyway, I've just experienced. I've had a positive experience because we downloaded this Stack Teams app that gives us the schedule. No more paper and text message. It's through his little system. And sports for me isn't just the athletic, physical piece. It's feeling your child feeling like he's part of something bigger, a team, and the relationships he has with the players, and building each other up, and his self-esteem has gone up. And so I've been really excited to see the whole part of it, other than just being afraid when your child's on the field, the other part of football.
Couple of reminders. JCM next season will be back in TSSAA varsity football, so they'll be eligible for playoffs and things of that nature. So it's been cool to see. We're friends on Facebook. I get to see the photos. It's cool to see the Cougars back in action. However, we'll dabble back into work just a moment. Angela, in your role as Title I Parent and Community Engagement, your department falls under the Family Support umbrella, or Social and Behavioral Services.
Yes.
You all have big news coming out of that department. I know there were two things you wanted to share with us.
Yes. One is coming up on September 1st. It's the Social and Behavioral Services Meet and Greet. It's from 4 to 6 p.m. at Central Office. It's going to be a cookout, and we'll have lots of community partners come in, fire truck, Words on Wheels, just a lot of people that will share with us on that day. I feel like we're the best kept secret. Our department consists of McKinney Vento, homeless liaison, crisis counselors, social workers, Rhonda Hurd, and it's just a great group of people. This year, School Health joined us, and so we can't help people if they don't know we're there. So this meet and greet from 4 to 6 on September 1st will give us an opportunity to engage with families and tell them what supports are available in our district.
Our superintendent, Dr. King, a lot of his peers, cheer him and encourage him and really celebrate him for his work in the area of communications. But purely as a manager, when you think about what you just said, bringing all of those departments under one umbrella, I think that's something when you think about how things have changed under Dr. King, that's one of there's several things you can look at,
Right.
But really that jumps off the page. And so this podcast and other communications platforms, we want to make sure that the families know about your department, Ms. Searcy, your department, Chief Gilmer. And so again, our schools, we're more than test scores. We're more than homework and report cards. We're about supporting the whole child. Angela, briefly, how do you approach your job? Like Dr. King always says, education's a calling.
Right.
How do you approach your job?
I really approach it in a non-judgmental manner. I'm very relational. A lot of the families who attend events, I form a relationship with them. It's not just come sign in or whatever. How are you doing? And it's really the heart of wanting to help families and knowing that people experience things beyond the classroom. And when you're a parent and you're looking at all the different aspects of parenting, and each person's home is very different. And so this year and last year is helping families. They might come to a class, but they might talk to me about losing a loved one. They might talk to me about financial barriers. And I don't have all the answers, but through the teams that we put together, social behavior services, if it's Title I, whatever it is, I can find a resource for them through working with, and a relationship. So a lot of people come back not just to come to the, but to see everybody. We did a mom's book club last year, met for weeks, did the book, but it wasn't all the content in the book. It was seeing a snapshot into each person's.
Again, Angela, someone may be hearing this and they want to get connected, email or phone call. What are those steps?
Phone call to me, 731-506-3062, or they can call the main number and get transferred. And my email is apsearcy@jmcss.org.
Awesome. Coach Gilmer, talk about, because I've learned a lot of quotes from Dr. King just sitting listening to him, right? And the idea that it's not so much academics necessarily that people are necessarily concerned about. They want to make sure that their child is treated well, they attend classes in safe environments, and you send them back home just a little better than you received them. In your role as Chief Support Services Officer, safety and security falls under that umbrella. How are we as a school system keeping our schools, our children and employees safe?
Number one thing goes back in a big quote that I hear Dr. King, I've heard him say it over and over and over, is love my people. I hear that quite frequent when I'm around Dr. King. He tells us as chiefs, love my people, and everybody is his people, starting with the schools, the parents, all employees. And, he doesn't talk about test scores very, very, very rarely. He says, if you love our people and do everything that goes along with that, test scores are going to come. And I think he's proven that to be the case in our district. And it's just awesome with the things that are going on. But, we got to start with relationships. We're in the people business. And if we fail at relationships, we're not going to keep people safe and secure. So it all goes back to that. We've had incidents where, if something doesn't sound right, if something doesn't look right, say something, tell somebody. So in the past couple of years, we've had students step up and do the right thing because they had relationships with teachers or SROs, and we feel like that we've been able to avert some situations that were possibly very dangerous. So it all starts with relationships, and then you get into the training part of the safety and security. And I'm going around and doing active shooter training with all our schools as far as our faculties and staff, knocking those out school at a time. So training, then practice. We're mandated by the state of Tennessee to have emergency operation plans. The schools are pretty much have completed those. We have to do a safety assessment that we've completed just recently with our has to be a sheriff, it has to be an officer of the law and a school administrator in that school that has to do the assessment. Then the state looks at that and basically says, hey, these are your areas you need to improve in on your schools in Jackson-Madison County. Then we take resources and we get out and we say, okay, we prioritize, this is what we need to do. But again, I'm going to go back. It starts with relationships, then education, training, and practice.
And two organizations that assist us in our goal and mission of keeping our schools safe: Madison County Sheriff's Department, Jackson Police Department, and also Max Guard, correct?
Yes, we of course we have SROs in our high schools and middle school, and that comes from the sheriff's department. We also employ some Max Guards to cover some of our schools in our elementary schools, so we'll have a presence there. And we also have some school safety specialists that the district hires that cover some schools. So it is a collaboration. When we started last year to do our emergency operation plan for Jackson-Madison County, we started back at scratch. We had meetings. Jason Moore with EMS was vital in bringing people to the table. So we've sat down with every emergency operation, anybody that has anything to do with in Jackson-Madison County, and we together developed our district plans, which the schools then took and developed their school plans. So I'm excited about where we are right now, and it's all living documents. We improve them and we test them, and anytime we have a situation, we debrief and we learn from it. So we're heading in the right directions in a lot of ways, and it all comes back to what Dr. King and Dr. Cadlett say: safety and priority. Safety is priority number one. And if you don't have that, nothing else is going to matter. So, he just doesn't say it. He practices what he preaches.
Again, you're listening to For the District, the JMCSS podcast, produced in association with the Jackson-Madison County School System and a partnership with Forever Communications. I'd like to again thank Tim Gilmer, Chief Support Services Officer, and Angela Searcy, our Title I Parent and Engagement Coordinator for the schools district. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for your service to Jackson-Madison County and my children and your children as well. We have one more guest because, we've talked about schools, we've talked about athletics. We're going to dabble into the arts really quick. But first, I need you all, let me play teacher for a minute. I need you to teach everyone how to sign off, okay? And so, although we have another break, I do want you guys to kind of help me teach my peers. So, you guys know I always say, for the district, I'm Greg Hammond, okay? So you'll say, for the district, I'm Angela Searcy, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, Angela, you go first. Here we go.
For the district, I am Angela Searcy.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Coach?
For the district, I am Tim Gilmer.
All right, we have another segment left. Stay with us. Congratulations to the teachers and students of the Jackson-Madison County School System. JMCSS has been designated a Level 5 school district by the Tennessee Department of Education for significant academic growth in math and English language arts. This, along with an increased focus in the arts and athletics, means there's never been a better time to choose us. Tuition free. Jackson-Madison County Schools. Visit jmcss.org today to schedule a tour.
Hello, I'm Camden Womack, a star student at Arlington Elementary, and you're watching For the District. Now back to the show.
Welcome back to For the District, the JMCSS podcast. Joining us now is a very special guest in the area of fine arts. Nadia Beard is the dance instructor at JCM High School and Middle School. Fun fact, JCM has the only high school dance program in the Jackson-Madison County School System. Coach Beard, how are you?
I am doing wonderful, Mr. Hammond. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. First, tell us about your role as a dance instructor at JCM.
Well, my role as a dance instructor here at JCM is to get the young people involved in the arts. A lot of students have voices, but some of them don't know how to utilize their voices in special ways. So as a teacher, my way is to show them how to utilize their voice, not just their voice typically, but their voice as their instrument, their body, to express emotions and how they feel and allow themselves to just unwind and to allow the mind to escape what's going on in life.
We're visiting with Nadia Beard. She's the dance instructor at JCM High School and Middle School. You're listening to For the District, the JMCSS podcast on JJ 97.7 FM. Being in this position has allowed me to meet teachers all across the district, and it's very cool that our teachers are able to also lead throughout the community. You're getting the chance to do that this summer and fall, Coach Beard, as you're spearheading the NED production of The Wiz. Tell us about that.
Oh man, this has been a great opportunity for the young people. We've been together for 3 months. We have the opportunity to showcase these talents this coming up Labor Day weekend. I had the opportunity to work with over 30 plus students from the Jackson-Madison County School System, even the students outside in the private sector as also in the homeschool sector. And it's been a wonderful experience from the ages of 8 to 18. So, my head is spinning 3 to 4 times a day from leaving school, then going to the NED every day and working with students from all age ranges. It's been an awesome experience.
Tell us the show dates again.
The show dates, September the 1st, the 2nd and the 3rd, we have those shows, 7 p.m. During Labor Day weekend. We also have a matinee on the 3rd. The matinee is at 2 p.m. on that Saturday show, and that evening is a 7 p.m. show. We also have a kids night, and the kids night is August the 31st. We are having on the kids night, we are asking for anyone to come and donate to the animal care center. Just $1 or $2, just a donation. But this is our last final dress and tech rehearsal. And so we want to celebrate with the community and with our young people and kids who really won't have the opportunity to pay $10 for a ticket, but they can come and watch us do our last dress and tech rehearsal. And we're just asking for a donation for the animals in the community. And that is, like I said, August the 31st at 6 p.m. We're going to have a trivia night. We're going to have a great time. We're going to enjoy the festivities. You can see the cast in full costume and setting. And I'm so excited about this. And I'm wanting the community to come out and share this moment with us.
You can find ticket information at the NED's Facebook page, but you can also go to our website, jmcss.org. We've shared the information there. As Coach Beard said, over 30 students in the Jackson-Madison County School System are participating in that production. Coach Beard, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you again. Thank you.
You've been listening to For the District, the JMCSS podcast. It's a production of the Jackson-Madison County School System in partnership with Forever Communications. You've been listening to this on JJ 97.7 FM. For the district, I'm Greg Hammond.